Hello, boys and girls. This is your art teacher, Mr. Krenitsky. I hope you're all doing okay in this online learning. And hopefully, we can create some projects for you here that maybe will help you learn something while you're cooped up at home all the time in the quarantine. So, looks like everything's getting better, and we might be back to school pretty soon. So that's pretty nice. What I'd like to do today, boys and girls, is use an element of art that is very interesting and will help you make your art a little more creative. What I want to study today is called pattern. Pattern is any repeated shape. I've got diagonal lines, circles, stars, triangles, wavy lines. Humans really like pattern, boys and girls, because pattern is all around us, even in just our heartbeat. Our heartbeat is a pattern of a beat. Music is pattern. Of course, mathematics is pattern all over the place, okay? So pattern is in our lives everywhere. That's why humans really like it in art. So what we'd like to do today is to teach you how to use pattern in your art, and I think you'll make a beautiful piece of art. This is a project kids always love, all right? So when it comes to you making your own pattern, you can make any pattern you want. But what's good about this project is because I've changed it a little bit, because what most kids are turning their art in is lined paper, right? Can you see that lined paper? So that's what we're going to use today, because we can use these lines on the paper as one of our patterns, okay? So what you'll need today is just a pencil and a piece of lined paper. Doesn't have to be lined paper, boys and girls. When I teach this in school, we don't use lined paper, we use drawing paper. But we have to prepare our paper first. So what I'd like you to do is take your piece of lined paper or drawing paper, fold it in half, hot dog style. Just like that. Then you fold it in half again, hot dog style. You know hot dog style, right? Long ways. Fold them really good. Now, you erase anything with my elbows? All right. That's what we've done so far. Next thing to do, open it back up. Fold it hamburger style now. In half. Right in half. Line up those corners. See? I've just folded it in half. Now I'll fold it in half one more time. And what we're going to have, boys and girls, is a piece of paper with 16 squares, right? 4 times 4 is 16. So that's what that's going to look like now. What I'd like you to do now is to trace with your pencil on those lines, okay? Your paper will look like this, okay? I use a Sharpie, so it shows up really well. You can use a marker if you want, something like that. That's what you'll end up with. So go ahead and do that. Trace your folded lines on there to make a graph. So that's what you got to do now. I'm going to move on because you can pause this and draw your lines on your paper. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now, I've got this really neat board here I've been using. My wife got it some years ago and she never used it, so we're using it now. And it's got 2 sides here. So now what I'm going to do, like this. Yep. How's that? Perfect. Now that's what you have on your paper. Okay? I don't want this to fall over no more. Okay, so now you guys, what we're going to do, we are going to draw one line through every box. We're going to divide each box into 2 halves. They won't be equal halves, but 2 sections for each box in the graph. So follow along. Draw that. Stay in the middle if you can. You're going to need both sides of that. You're going to need both sides. Now I'm going to do this. Your line does not have to look exactly like this. Okay? Just don't do any loop-de-loops. Can't do that. It doesn't work when you do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go like that. I'm going to have to pause the video here and there. Now I'm going to do this. Okay. I will do this. All right, and then we'll do this. That kind of design. And then we just have to finish it off now with another line here. Can we see everything? Sure can. Done. Okay. Now we're this far, boys and girls. I'll wait for a second for you to catch up. Okay. Good. You're caught up now. Because you probably hit pause. Good. All right. Now's when we add our pattern. There's 2 ways to do it here, boys and girls. If you're using white paper, like from a copy paper or drawing paper, you can make up your own patterns. Okay, and my suggestion is you use 1 pattern for the whole piece of paper. It looks better when you use 1 pattern. Now, some people will go pattern A, pattern B, pattern A, pattern B. You can do two patterns if you alternate them. That's another pattern. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a pattern that I think is going to look good, because this is going out to the people who are using lined paper. Here's what you do. Right up in this area, I'm going to trace, or what you should do is trace on those blue lines. Okay? Trace right on the blue line of your paper. That's going to look like this. Yours will be perfectly parallel. They'll be parallel because you trace right on that blue line. It's going to look really sharp when you're done. The next square down, we put the pattern on the other side. Okay? Okay, now we put the pattern on this side. And then this side. So, boys, you're going to do that in every one going down here. See, I started with the right, then the left, then the right, then the left. So you got to do the same thing here now. Start on the right, then you go to the left, then the right, then the left. Now, remember, you got to just stay inside these areas, right? And this one's going to be over here. That's how you can do it, okay? Just because you're using lined paper doesn't mean you have to follow the lines, okay? It looks good when you use the same pattern over your whole paper, okay? So if I was going to continue this artwork, I would use the parallel lines for every single square, all right? Uh, if you want to do something else like polka dots, I gotta hold this down. Polka dots, and then you got to put the polka dots on this side, right? Some kids will like to use hearts. Some kids will use hearts. I'll put polka dots over here. And then on this side, right? Okay, so that's how you design this artwork, okay? Once your paper's all filled up, I have a feeling most of you are going to use the parallel lines here because they're already on your paper, right? Just trace over them, but only draw in one side of that square. Now, boys and girls, I want to talk just for a little bit about color. I'm going to change this back around. Are you there? Yep. So, my handy dandy red, erase this. Now, color, boys and girls. A little bit about color. Boys and girls, what I'm going to draw here is a color wheel. Color wheel shows the relationships of colors. You might have seen them before. Uh, what I'm going to draw right now are what are called the primary colors. There's three colors that are most important, okay? And those are yellow, red. You may know the last one. Oh, where am I drawing? I'm getting ahead of myself, boys and girls. Blue. Primary colors. They're the most important ones because reason is, boys and girls, you can't make blue from other colors. It's a pure color. Same with yellow. You can't make yellow using other colors. It's a pure color. Same with red. Same with blue and red. You can't make colors. You can't use other colors to make these three colors. That's why they're called the primary colors. All right. Now, 1,000 years ago, a Native American woman or man dyed their blanket green that they made. How do you get green? You know, how do you get it? Where is it? Well, what they did was they probably went and found a bunch of yellow flowers out in the desert, grind them up, mix some oil or water in there with it, boil it, and you have yellow paint. Okay. Same with red. What would they have used for red? Roses, red flowers, berries, cherries, right? Raspberries, blue flowers, right? Or blueberries, anything blue, grind it up, mix it with water, heat it up. So, primary colors. Now I want to add the secondary colors, boys and girls. Secondary colors are when you mix yellow and red, you get orange. Okay? How about yellow and blue? Green. Okay. What's down here now? We're going to call it violet. Do you know what another name for violet is? Purple. Okay. We can use either word. It's fine. Officially, it is actually violet. All right. So now, there we have the color wheel. That's why it's this way. Primaries, and then when you mix these two, you get that. Blue and red make violet, yellow and red make orange. Color wheel, right? So now, what I want to show you now is a color scheme called analogous colors. Analogous colors go very well together, and it's easy to remember which ones to use. Analogous colors share a color, all right? So for instance, orange, yellow, green. They're analogous because to make orange, you need yellow and red, all right? So there's yellow in orange. There's yellow in green because you need it to mix with blue. Yellow and blue make green. So there's yellow and green. So there's yellow and orange, yellow and yellow, and yellow and green. So that's what makes them harmonious. It really sounds good together. Like for instance, you can have a cat walking on the piano, and that's not music, right? It's noise. You get someone using the keys in the right combination, and that's beautiful music. Same with color, you guys. If you use the right colors together. So now, analogous colors. 3 colors next to each other on the color wheel. You can use any 3 colors that are next to each other. You can use red, violet, blue, red, orange, yellow, fire colors, yellow, green, blue. You can use green, blue, and violet. That's great. Okay, so you're using analogous colors, and those are colors next to each other on the color wheel. So now that you've got 3 colors to use, you can pick the colors you want to use. But I'm going to turn this over again. Is that right? It's upside down. For instance, if you give these stripes, oh, it's still upside down. That's fine. Now, using analogous colors, you guys have 3 colors in a row on the color wheel. Look, if I was going to use yellow, I'm going to use yellow, orange, and green. We just had that example a second ago. I could go green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, orange. See, you can split it up that way, and you can color the whole thing that way. It'll look really nice. Number 1, you'll have a beautiful pattern, and number 2, the colors will be harmonious, okay? Because you're using colors that are related and harmonious and look good together, right? Harmony, say harmony. Like being in tune. Same with sound. When you're in tune, it sounds good. Okay, so you guys, that's what's going on with this project here. I hope you have fun with it, and I'm not going to teach this anymore. Right now, what I would like to do is just take a minute and show you something. I'd like to expose you guys to the art that's out there in the world, okay? And since I'm your teacher and I make art, I'm an artist, I want to show you some art I've made. In our neighborhood, there is an artist named Zarco Guerrero. He's a mask maker, painter. He paints murals. In fact, he's painted 2 murals in my backyard for us last year. And so one time he had a workshop, said, come on over, pay me $30, and you lay on a table and he puts the plaster on your face. Okay. First he puts hand lotion all over your face so it doesn't stick to your skin. And then he puts the mask on your face. And then once it comes off, I can build up areas with plaster. See how I built up the cheekbones? I built up the cheekbones. I've got these lines on the head here. I put extra clay down on that. I want to show you the teeth here. See those teeth? They're made with a popsicle stick. You just push the popsicle stick on there and you rock it back and forth and you take it off. And you get teeth. And then see I outlined the teeth. I wanted the nose coming up a little bit like that. And since this mask was made on my face, I can put it on. See, so now I would strap it on my face and then put a wig on, and wear a long cape. Dia de los Muertos. That's that mask. A lot of fun to make. It was so much fun to make, I made another one. I better put it on, put my glasses on so I can find it. I wanted to make something a little more creepy this time. Big old lips coming out. I designed this after when I was a kid, I used to watch a show called The Twilight Zone. You can find it on Netflix. It's really good. They're in black and white, but each one's about 20 minutes and they're crazy. All right. This is one of the people that were in a Twilight Zone called Eye of the Beholder. In other words, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Everybody has different ideas of what is beautiful. All right. So I did that out of that. Cool, huh? Should I put this one on? See? Strap that thing on my head, put a wig on, and now I'm ready to roll, huh? That's a fun mask right there. That's fun to make, okay? Because my background is photography. I went to school and studied fine art photography. I take pictures. And so it's always nice to do a different kind of art, you know, experiment with sculpture art, right? Okay, so boys and girls, what I'm going to let you do now is work for the last little bit of this time on your artwork here. Remember, when you are done with it, take a picture of it with your camera. I've got directions on how to do that in Canvas, your 4th grade tile in Canvas. So take a picture of it. Make sure you have good lighting. Stand in a window or make sure light's shining on it so I can get a good look at it. And I'll give you a grade for it, and then you'll be done with it. That sounds really good. Okay, so boys and girls, continue with what this project is as long as you'd like to work on it. This project is usually a 1-hour project, so you can get out your pencils and crayons and start working on it. Enjoy yourself that way. So, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, and goodbye.